Is your website still working for you, or has it quietly stopped helping your business grow? Today, I'm going to show you the real signals that it's time for a website redesign. And it's not necessarily just about age. Hi, everybody. My name is Eric Rowan. I'm from Silver Six Media, and we help businesses turn their websites into high performing sales assets. Now, most business owners ask, should I redesign my site because it's old? That's a good question, but maybe not the most pertinent one. We could have one that says, um, not based on the age, but actually based on its performance. So websites really aren't a set it once and forget it. Technology changes, user expectations, brand messaging, they can evolve fairly quickly. And a website that was modern maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, it might start to not look as uh, updated as it should be, right? And that could impact trust from your visitors. It could impact conversions and in some cases, maybe credibility. So that's the real question that comes is, okay, so how often should I redesign it? Well, I've been doing this for over a decade, 13, 14 years, whatever it is. And when I first started out, I used to suggest 5 to 7 years. Then I went to 5 years and et cetera, et cetera. It's been a little bit shorter every 3, 4 years, it seems. So if you Google how often should you redesign your website, the results typically tell you between every 2 to 3 years. I think that's a bit aggressive, considering the amount of time and energy and money that a lot of business owners put into their websites. I would suggest perhaps an extra year, maybe 3 to 4 years, but certainly that's my personal preference, depending on, and again, these aren't solid figures. It really depends on how your website is performing. And so to me, 3 to 4 years is a good guideline. Um, the real answer depends on, does your site really support your business goals or its KPIs or objectives or whatever you set out? Hopefully you had some KPIs when you first started doing your website. So what are the signals? Signal number one, it's basically, it's not converting, right? You're getting traffic, but they're not turning into leads or inquiries or calls. So it's not really doing its job. So we need to narrow down what might the issue be. It could be your site structure, it could be your messaging, um, not necessarily your marketing. So it's really trying to identify why it's not performing. Second signal is your message isn't clear. Visitors should really instantly know what you do, how you help, what problem you solve. If they can't really get that within a couple of seconds of your homepage, no amount of traffic is really going to fix that. We can just keep throwing more and more bodies. Um, the odds are you may get an extra couple inquiries or leads, but they may not be of great quality. And the last one is it looks outdated when you compare it to maybe some of your competitors. Now, I always caution people, be careful about design trends and your competition's website. It may look fantastic, but you have no idea whether it's reaching any goals. So just because you look at your competitor's website and it looks really professional and you like the feel and the typography and the imagery and all that kind of stuff, it may not be providing that company any real benefit other than looking pretty or looking nice. So visuals, layout tweaks, maybe things like that. So people do judge your website very, very quickly, literally in milliseconds. Okay. So the other question we can ask is, do we really need a full redesign every 3 to 4 years? Or the experts, 2 to 3 years? Not every update needs to be a full website redesign. Sometimes you just need a refresh. We can do things like visuals, typography, layout tweaks or subtle changes, calls to actions not strategically placed, or even the wording on the calls to action, not submit or whatever, something a little bit more descriptive about what that does. So just to kind of summarize a little bit, the question that we asked at the beginning is your website too old? Should I redesign it? Again, probably one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen people make is, well, it's just time because it's old. That could be true. You know, aesthetically, it doesn't look modern. It's falling behind your competitors, but that really shouldn't be the only criteria that you're judging your website by is visual, right? Because who wants a website that just looks pretty? Hopefully, when you invest in a website, you want a return for that, not just outgoing of money. So a successful redesign always starts with a strategy. What action do you want people to take, right? Your visitors. Where are they dropping off? What proof do they need to trust you? All these kinds of things go into before you do one little piece of code. Those answers should be discussed and talked about. So basically, that's kind of my bottom line for today's video is, your website really should evolve with your business. If it doesn't really reflect you anymore, or you've changed your branding or your target market slightly or things like that, if it doesn't really reflect who you truly are, then the odds are you probably need a redesign rather than a refresh. So that's all I wanted to talk to you today about. Was I do get this question from time to time, and I try to just steer business owners away from, well, just based on time and not performance. So if you do need help diagnosing your site, or you're seriously thinking about whether your website, it's time for either a retweak or redesign, I'd love to help. Just click our link in the below, go to visit silver6.ca. I'd be happy to help you out. Till next time, guys, Eric Rowan, Silver 6 Media. Thanks very much.